it's Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Let's take a look at the Massachusetts single-family home market for March 2024. And as always, we start with price. Well, look at that. Our average sales price in February, so these are February numbers reporting in March, 723,000. 723,000. That's plus 67,000 year over year. And as you can see here, February tends to be, if you look at this chart here, February tends to be the lowest point of the year. But this year, it's also probably going to be the lowest. But look how much higher this low is than the last 3 Februarys. Look at that. We did not have that much of a slump in prices that we usually see during the winter months. It's definitely kind of slumped a little bit, but not back to last year's level at all. We are plus 67,000 year over year, as I said. And so you would expect when the spring market comes around, which is just around the corner, you would expect prices to bounce from this level, which gives us an indication that we might have a very strong price spring. Sellers now are getting a 1% or giving a 1% discount upon their list price. Once again, from original list to sales price, 99%. So if you list it for 100,000, you're getting 99,000. Sellers are taking the teeniest discount. And yeah, that was 98 in January, and now it's 99. Still a pretty strong indicator for the seller. Back in the great financial crisis, this was more like 91%. So sellers were taking like a 9% discount off of list price. We're nowhere near that. Well, this is basically parity. You list it, you're going to sell it for that price or maybe a teeny bit lower. And why is that? Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record. That's because there's just not a lot of houses to buy. First of the month inventory, single family homes statewide in Massachusetts, 3,009. 3,009. We do seem to have a floor put in at about 3,000, 2,800, 3,000 in terms of we don't seem to be going below 2,800. And you would expect in the springtime, especially April 1st, May 1st, a lot of houses go on the market. You would expect this inventory number to increase. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on that because usually, as you can see from these past numbers, usually inventory goes up in the springtime, spring selling season. We're going to keep a very close eye on that to see if it actually does increase this year. As you know, mortgage rates are hovering at 6.9, 7.1, somewhere in that 7 number. That will be a very important factor of whether or not we see an expansion of supply as the spring comes along, as we usually do. Haven't seen that yet. April will be a big number to be watching. April and May inventory numbers are going to be huge. It's taking just a little bit more than a month to get an offer that you like on your property. This usually does peak in February, as it has for the last couple of years. The prior year peak was about 36 days, 37 days. But usually February this peaks, and then it starts to go down as more people go out, right? On February weather, it stinks, right? It stinks. January stinks. But as soon as that warm weather goes out, people start going out to shop, and things start moving quicker. So we would imagine if the cyclical thingy stays the same, as the cycle stays the same, you imagine that it will start to decrease, that people will start selling their properties a little bit quicker come the springtime. We'll keep a very close eye on this as well. We only had 1,823 homes close in February. That was up just slightly from statistically, basically the same number as last year, let's just call it. And February, again, is usually when we see the lowest on this number. And we would like to see it bounce back as it usually does in the spring. But remember, it is also a lagging indicator. What closed in February went under agreement back in like December. So let's take a look at pending home sales. We had 2,743 homes go pending in February. That's up 73 homes, really not super significant within the margin. Basically the same pattern as we've had last year. So this tends to be in the normal seasonal bracket, so to speak. So going into the spring market, the big question remains the April inventory number. Let's bring that chart up again. You see how in 2021 we had a big spring spike in inventory? We also had the same type of spike in 2022. But in 2023, not really. It just kind of went up a little bit, but mostly sideways. This will be the real question, whether or not we have inventory coming in April and May, whether we come in hot or whether we come in like we did last year. If we come in like we did last year, whoa, that is a huge historical change. It was one thing to do it 1 year, because almost always you get more inventory in the spring. And last year was kind of weird because that really didn't materialize. But what if it happens now 2 years in a row? That would be groundbreaking. We're going to keep a very close eye on that. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you next month. I'm Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.